Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another amazing vlog. So listen man, today we have decided to do a sit down conversation. The reason why is because it's been a rough week. We had my aunt passed away, so we had the family together and a bunch of stuff, and obviously preparations towards everything, and so that was a rough week, and that's also mainly a big part of the reason we couldn't actually vlog. We were having services every evening to accommodate different parts of the family. You guys know with all the restrictions going on, which is actually part of our conversation today with the COVID-19 restrictions. It's really restricting us to be able to have proper services and to be able to have the family come together and really be there for each other and support, which is something that that's not cool, but be that as it may, that's what the situation is. So obviously it was a real tough one for us to be able to vlog in the midst of everything going on, emotionally, mentally, just everything all over the place. And so so we decided to do a little sit down, and we want to share our thoughts. Now remember, disclaimer in the beginning of this video is, number one, these are our personal thoughts and just around the whole coronavirus. A lot of you might not know, or a lot of you might know, that I'm a pastor. I have my degree in theology. For those of you who may not know what theology is, it is the study of the Bible, right? And so from that premise and on that basis, a lot of my life application, whether it comes to family, whether it comes to my health, whether it comes to just thought patterns and how I manage my family and how we manage our finances, just in fact everything we do is obviously based off a biblical principle and what do you call it, like preface, what's that, like principle, like a base. It's based off that. So yeah, that word. I'll probably get to the word when we're done with the vlog, but be that as it may, so everything is built and kind of around that premise is the word I wanted to use. Off that premise. So our thoughts on the virus as a whole. Number one, we are not oblivious to the fact that yes, there is a virus.
And people are impacted.
And people are impacted. We ourselves have been impacted financially. Our jobs have been impacted because we work with people. We work, the income has been influenced.
People is our work. That is what we do on a daily basis. It is people. Exactly.
So that gets influenced and impacted. So by no means are we downplaying any of the coronavirus. We in and of ourselves know about people that got sick from the virus. They've all recovered to the best of our knowledge. We also have been impacted financially as far as job security is concerned. That it has impacted us. It impacted just business and things that we did on the side just to generate an income. It impacted all of those revenue streams because people are in a position where buying power has lessened because a lot of people have lost their jobs. A lot of people have
less disposable income to do these things, like just buy the stuff that maybe we were doing on the side or whatever. And also we were restricted in getting to each other. So even if they bought it from you, you were restricted.
You couldn't move around, all that kind of stuff. So be that as it may, these are my thoughts. Anka will share her thoughts. My personal thoughts on everything is, I do believe, I'm going to come from a spiritual aspect, right? And I do believe that it is spiritually, being a student or scholar of theology, I do believe that spiritually there is a spiritual attack on the world, not just the church and not just the body of Christ as far as Christians, or I believe it's on the world. I believe that there's a lot more going on spiritually than we know or that we think. I believe a lot of it doesn't necessarily all have to do just with the virus. I believe that there's an element of fear being placed into people's hearts. This is my personal thoughts. You may agree, you may disagree. It's entirely up to you. I'm open for disagreements and all that. That's fine. Or we are. I believe there's a large element of this virus that the media drives a huge feeling of fear, a huge feeling of they drive anxiety into the hearts of people with reporting and all of this. I believe personally, as far as everything goes now, we now know that we need to sanitize, number one. We now know that it's important to wear masks, number two. And we now know that it's important to social distance, number three. So with those 3 points, and restrict, gatherings and all that kind of things, we know those things. And I think up until there is a new development that needs to come out, then it's important for us to know what the next development is. But until then, I believe that the only thing that constantly reporting on deaths and cases and all those things, the only thing it is doing in the lives and in the hearts of people, it is causing fear, and it is causing anxiety, and it's causing people to be afraid to do things. It's causing a lot of that. And my standpoint for where I stand with trying to give people hope, and trying to show people love, and trying to give people faith to believe for a better day. And what this does is, every time you look onto the news or listen to the news or go onto your social media, there's a lot of negativity, and it dampens your spirit. It dampens you as an individual, and it's not positive, and it's not good for your spirit at all. This is what I believe. You may agree, you may disagree, but that's what I believe, and that's my stance on the whole COVID-19. I'm not a doctor, so I don't want to go over to the medical issues and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to talk myself into a corner if I go there. But from a spiritual perspective or point of view, and from the health for your spirit and your soul and your well-being, I believe it's unhealthy to consistently and continuously bombard your spirit with so much negativity. It's unhealthy.
Whatever you watch, whatever you look at, whatever you read, whether it be on Facebook, Twitter, on the news, whatever, that goes into your mind, and it sits there. It sort of festers, and you start dreaming about these things. It's all that you can think about, and that in itself creates so much fear that you end up becoming sick anyway.
I was going to say, the power of the mind also plays a big part, right? And when Anka and I first got married, there was a lot of differences we had about sicknesses and stuff.
I thought you were going to
so she always do, I'm feeling sick, I'm feeling. And my belief, how I grew up, my parents always told me, there's power in your words and your thoughts. So when you say it, you're almost like speaking it over yourself all the time. And then I always used to have this argument with Anka, stop saying that about yourself. Stop speaking this negativity on yourself. Stop.
Sorry, when did this conversation become about?
No, I'm just bringing that to this point to say that stop kind of speaking it over your life all the time. And when we fast forward, I say that to say that it wasn't just our thought process because of Corona. I'm saying that should be your thought process, especially in Corona. Stop speaking this negativity over yourself. I'm feeling sick. My headache and this and that. It's almost like you're speaking these things onto yourself.
The other thing as well is that, guys, we cannot believe every single thing we see on the news. We cannot just take it for face value. We can't just, something that's on Facebook, we can't just take it and say, guys, I saw this now. There's how many million cases? And if someone makes a statement that's contradictory to that, now we go, was it on the news? Was it on Facebook? Where was it? We need to do research. Do research to see what are the cases. Are people reporting to say, guys, I was told to just put Corona on this, because we know of personal cases.
Yeah, we know about now almost 5 to 10 personal stories
of people who were tested, and the very next day they went back and then they were negative, or they were like 4 or 5 people in one home. One person tests positive and the rest tests negative when they're all together all the time. So how accurate is this? Now remember, the first test that these people went to go do is positive. That goes into the database. The second test that is now negative does not cancel the first test. It goes into the database, and that is what
so those numbers keep inflating.
It just keeps inflating. Also, we know of personal cases as well where people have died of other causes.
And has been told that. In fact, we've done now, and this is personal. This is actual.
Yes.
This is actual situations that we know for a fact. It's not things we've heard. It's actual situations that we know that in 3 different situations that the family was told that it was a cause of Corona.
Yes.
And then these families went over and above to find out, hey, what was the genuine cause of death here? And found out that it had nothing or little to do with the COVID-19.
The sad part about that is that people don't get to give a proper send-off to their loved ones.
Yeah. So you can't do a proper funeral, you can't have the people in the room. And which I also don't understand the logic, because if somebody has corona, you're supposed to be 2 meters away from the person.
And the person's
you're not
alive.
supposed to cough on the person. You're not supposed to rub the things into your eyes. So if maybe somebody can comment in the comment section the logic behind why a corpse that's in a closed coffin, how that can make or if affect or infect the people who are coming to the funeral. I would understand if you said the coffin needs to be on the stage and no one's allowed to perhaps go
an open
close
viewing.
or open it. You can't open it and no one's allowed to go around it. That perhaps I could.
But
even that doesn't make sense.
but look, a lot of the corona rules for me just doesn't make sense.
Especially like the night time. Like in South Africa, we can't drive around at night.
Because corona can catch you in your car after night. But that's beside the point. But going forward, what I was trying to say with we can't just take everything for face value. We need to look behind it, do a bit of research, so that you as well can see that this thing is inflated and it eases your mind as well. Do the research, go the extra mile, because if people are telling me, if the news is telling me there's 1 million cases, what must I do with the information or there's 1 million cases of people being infected? What can I do with that information? Absolutely nothing, but be filled with fear. That's the only achievement that there is in that. So I would say, really guys, go and don't dismiss what other people are also saying simply because it wasn't on the news, simply because it wasn't on CNN. Because I personally believe there's a different agenda being driven behind this. Because remember now, people in a lot of countries have taken a big economical hit. People that have just started the business or who has been in business for years have lost their everything they've worked for their entire lives. You know, so tell me that there's not a financial agenda behind this too. Going back to the information that we're given, we've been told that if you isolate, your immune system,
you lower your immune,
you lower your immune
because
you're constantly sanitizing. You don't come out in the sun a little bit to get a bit of vitamin D and all of that. So your immune system is lowered. So when you decide to go to the shop, eventually
that's when you end up getting sick. So
sick.
for us personally, we've worked throughout the lockdown period.
Mm-hmm.
We had our permits and everything, but I've worked throughout the lockdown period, which means I've had to be out on the roads. I've had to go places. I've went to the shops and the malls and stuff throughout. I mean, since this whole thing started.
Bearing in mind, you weren't irresponsible.
I wasn't irresponsible. There was sanitizing. I obviously had my mask on, all those kind of things. But what I'm saying is, I say that to say that most of the people, and now we know of 2 cases personally, like literally 2 situations of people who were like locked down to the max, didn't go anywhere, didn't do anything, didn't talk to anyone, didn't nothing, and ended up getting corona anyway. So I also know personally of one situation that somebody told me where the guy went for a general checkup for something different, and they literally put him into a COVID-19 ward. And I don't know, that was the last his family ever saw of him, and he never came out, and they couldn't even have a proper funeral, nothing. So I'm no conspiracy theorist, but all I'm saying is that like there's a lot of sketchy behavior going on. There's like a lot of weirdness going on that I don't know if I entirely agree with. But be that as it may, those are our opinions. Those are our opinions, those are our thoughts on the whole virus. Again, you may differ with us, you may think something else, it's entirely up to you. We are not saying the deaths are not real, the deaths are very real. We are not saying that the COVID cases are not real, those COVID cases are very real. What we are, however, saying, what I'm saying, however, I don't want to speak for Anka, but what I'm saying is that, number one, there is something sketchy going on that I don't entirely agree with. And number two, there's a lot of fear being driven through media to the people, which is not necessary
And
to
what
be
we
driving
know-
so much fear.
And what we know by now is that fear is the currency of
Control. So if we can get you to be afraid, we can get you to do what we need you to do. So yeah, be that as it may, I will continue to pray for your families. Make sure that everyone stays safe as far as spiritually is concerned. And what I do want to leave you with is, please do not allow fear to overcome your faith. Your faith, your hope, your love, that should be on the top of your priority list. Continue to feed your faith. Continue to just read the Bible, pray, speak to God about everything, your anxieties, your fears. In fact, there's a scripture that says, cast all your anxieties on Him. And there's another one that says, be anxious about nothing, but pray about everything. So if we can do that, I promise you we'll get through this pandemic. We were just giving a couple of our thoughts on stuff, but yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching our video today. I hope you did enjoy it. Drop your comment in the comment section. Agree, disagree, it's entirely up to you. You can go for whatever you think you want to say. And yeah, thank you so much. Please don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and see you on the next video. Love you.